Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. We are now almost a week into April, which means it's time for me to confess my sins to you all and to answer the question that we all want to know. Did I read 50 books in the month of March? The answer is no. No. I didn't do bad this year, but I didn't do great. So I didn't do the worst I've ever done, but I didn't do as good as last year. So how many books did I end up reading in the month of March? How many middle grade books did I accomplish off of my TBR? I read 19, which for a month of reading is pretty solid. So I'm going to give myself that. You know what? I am. I'm going to give myself 19 books because I had a pretty solid slump there in the middle. And I'm just going to give it to it because reading is subjective and reading is for enjoyment, and I enjoyed myself this month. So let's talk about the books that I read in the month of March. Okay, starting off in pretty much no particular order, let's start with actually even the first one that I just finished. This is Eager. This is a book that I read so long ago. This is essentially about a robot named Eager who goes to live with a family named the Bells, and just kind of the situations they get into. It's set in the futuristic world where robots have essentially taken over most jobs. It's pretty interesting to read because I think this was written in the 90s, kind of how technology has evolved, different things, which is funny because now in the 21st century, reading it, you can definitely relate to some of the inventions and things and be like, oh, that's actually a thing that exists now, which is kind of funny. I really enjoyed this. I liked it a lot. It was exactly what I remembered it being, and as I was reading it, it definitely was one of those nostalgic books that brought me back to when I'd read it, I think probably in like elementary school. So yeah, I enjoyed this one and thought it was really cute. I gave this one, I think, 4 or 5 stars. Okay, next, let's talk about maybe one of my favorite books I read this month. This is The Birch Bark House. I loved this book as a kid. I remember reading this, being obsessed with it, and it still holds up. This is such a solid book. This is by Louise Ardrich, and I think if I remember correctly, she does have Indian heritage in her family, Native American history within her family. So she, I think, did a really well due diligence with giving this book the credit that the credit is due, with just being very visceral. It goes through essentially a year of this little girl's life, and just really taking you in and through the things that her and her family go through living on this island in, I think, Minnesota or Michigan, somewhere in the north Midwest of the United States. The apartment? I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's really cute. I loved, again, rereading this and kind of bringing myself back into this world. It holds up so well. So I would definitely say if this is something you are interested in sharing or reading with someone younger in your life, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Next, let's talk about a book that I didn't like. This was The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Subity. This was unfortunately a new release that I did not love. This came out, I think, in 2021, I believe, and this is essentially about a girl whose family has Viking heritage. And this one was good, but it felt like a book that I'd read before, and the storyline for me just wasn't great. The pacing was kind of weird. The characters were cute, but it felt very reminiscent of a lot of books that I've read in this kind of world of like quirky sidekick friends and, you know, a girl that has to save the world. I don't know. It just felt very familiar, but not in a great way. And nothing in this book felt very original. The villain was kind of a random villain. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, unfortunately. So I think I did end up giving this one about 2 stars, but like I said, I'm obviously not the target audience for this, so if it is something you think your little one would enjoy, or if you want to enjoy, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Next, let's talk about another one I did love. This one was The Misfits by Lisa Yee. This is about a girl who goes to a boarding school and essentially becomes an international spy along with her friends. Again, with this one, the pacing was just kind of weird. I get that, again, I'm not the target audience for these books, but I've read some like solid middle grade books in my day, and this one just didn't really do it for me. It was very simplistic. There was a lot of telling, not showing. The relationships were just kind of random. I don't know. It just felt very quirky to me and not in a good way. So I didn't love this one either, unfortunately, but I'm glad to have read it because now it is off my shelves. Okay, next, let's talk about one that I did enjoy a little bit more. This one is by Louise Lowry. This is Tree Table Book. This one is very cute. This one, again, I love Louise Lowry's books so much. She's obviously the author of The Giver, and I think this is her newest release, which is why I was really excited to pick this up. This one essentially is about a little girl who's friends with a person who has early onset Alzheimer's. Obviously, this is told through a child's point of view, so you don't really get a lot of the specifics about what's going on with the woman, but this one was actually, you know what, now as I'm sitting here, this one I did like a lot more than I remember. This one just for me isn't one that's a lasting story, but there is a lot of emphasis woven through this. The stories that the woman tells about her past and the things that she went through are very touching and heartbreaking, honestly. And yeah, I did enjoy this. I don't obviously think this one is one that can be read. It can be read by anyone. Obviously, books are subjective. Anyone can enjoy any book. But I think for me, I don't know, whatever it was this year for middle grade March, I just wasn't the target audience for a lot of these. So again, I did enjoy this. I thought it was really good, but it wasn't my favorite of Louise Lowry's books. The Giver will always be one of my favorites, though. Absolutely no question. I've also noticed too with Louise Lowry's books, she does leave a very open-ended ending, which I don't know if I totally love. So there's that to consider too when you go into that. Okay, next, let's talk about a random graphic novel. This is Saving Chupi. This is by Baro Ortiz. This is essentially about a girl who moves into Puerto Rico to help her grandma with reopening her restaurant and ends up kind of getting into some antics. This one was cute. I did enjoy it. I love a good storyline with these. I thought the characters were cute. The art in this is amazing. I enjoyed this one. I did. This one was a good one. I liked this one a lot. If you like some, quirky antics, some cute characters, this one was a good one to check out. Okay, now let's talk about some Beverly Cleary, because she was one that I was trying to knock off a good amount of on my shelves, which I would say I did a decent job of. Let me see if I can find the other one in this stack. Where did it go? Okay, somewhere I'm missing a book. Oh no, I'm not. It's right here. Okay. So the series that I did get through of Beverly Cleary's was The Mouse and the Motorcycle. So I read The Mouse and the Motorcycle, Ralph S. Mouse, and Runaway Ralph. I also read Socks by her, which was cute. I enjoyed it. But again, of her books, I really think the Ramona Quimby series is my favorite by her. These were good. These read in the same tone that all of her books read. These read in the same kind of style that her books read. Again, a lot of these, I think, for her were written in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. So it reads in that same kind of tone as her other books. I enjoyed these. I liked them. They weren't my favorite, but they were quick reads that I could get through in a single sitting. So I liked them, went through them. Do I think they're my favorite of her books? No, but I'm glad I read them. Okay. Next, let's talk about another one, unfortunately, that I didn't love. This is Freaky Friday. So this is by Mary Rogers, and to my understanding is the original of the Freaky Friday franchise that obviously Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are a part of. This book is so dated. Let me just start there. So dated. This, I think, originally came out in 1972, and it reads like it came out in 1972. This is dated. Things that they're talking about, just the way they describe people, the different, I don't even remember some of them. I didn't like this book. It was hard to get through. It's short, but I still didn't love it. They definitely obviously changed a lot within the movie. This is a definitely point where the movie is better than the book, which is rare, but this for me did not hold up. And I did not like it. So if you're interested in the origin story, especially with the new movie coming out, I would check it out, but just know that it's dated at best. Okay, let's talk about another graphic novel I did really enjoy. This is called Brownstone by Samuel Tier and Mar Julia. This is essentially about a girl who moves in with her dad that she's never met before. He speaks Spanish and lives in New York City. Her mom drops her off to go be a dancer for the summer and needs someone to take care of her. And it's just about her learning about the Latin American neighborhood that she's a part of, learning to be a part of just not being white enough and she's a mixed kid, so not being white enough or brown enough for some of them, not knowing how to speak Spanish and trying to communicate with her dad. I really enjoyed this. It's a really cute story. It's beautifully drawn. The art in it is great. I enjoyed this. I really did. I don't know if I'm exactly the target audience for this. I do definitely think there's a world in which mixed people or just people of kids with divorce, I think this is something that would resonate with a lot of different types of people. So if it is something you're interested in, I would definitely check it out. I know this one has gotten pretty popular, so I would definitely take a look. Okay, then let's talk about another graphic novel. Actually, let's finish off the graphic novels. Okay, so the next one I read was Faye and the Moon, which, to be honest, I read this like probably 3 weeks ago and I don't remember it at all. Oh yeah, no, I didn't like this one. Okay, this one is essentially about a girl who's abandoned by her mom and has to take care of the moon. From what I remember, the storyline with this was a bit odd. I picked it up at the library just for something to read, and the art in it is adorable. I really, really loved the art style with this. The storyline for me wasn't my favorite, but just something to keep in mind. This is, yeah, again, basically about a girl named Faye who the moon essentially awakens these monsters that she has to battle and take care of, and nobody is able to help her, and her mom has been missing and all of this stuff. So it's very interesting. Thought it was cute, read it pretty quickly, but wasn't my favorite. Okay, next, let's wrap up my graphic novels. This is Twig. This is one I picked up super randomly. This basically is about a creature. I'm trying to remember the plot of some of these. I'm telling you, some of these books, I feel like I read so many books. Some of the stories with these, I just don't remember until I pick them back up again. They're just not my favorite, which is fine and is what it is. This essentially is about a little creature who has to deliver a package and runs into antics and gets chased by monsters and makes a friend with like a hippo naked mole rat looking type of situation. It was cute. I loved the art of it so much. I thought it was really, really cute. It was beautiful. I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. So do with that what you will. Oh, I promise I'm not trying to crap on all of these stories. They just weren't my favorites. I only had a few good solid reads this month. Okay, let's get through a couple like really short ones. Okay, then we can finish strong. Okay, so this is All Because of a Cup of Coffee by Geronimo Stilton. This was a nostalgic read for me. I loved this book as a kid. I don't remember reading any other books from this series. It's basically about a mouse that like gets into trouble and antics and goes on adventures with his family and friends. It's cute. It's exactly what I remembered being. The art in it is fun. The pictures are great. It's a very like interactive book to read. But yeah, overall it was cute. I think I gave it 3 stars. I'll hold on to it for the nostalgia, but yeah, just wasn't one of my favorite things I read this month, but I did like it. Same with this one. So this is The Bread and Breakfast Star by Jacqueline Wilson. I really enjoy her books. They're set in the UK. This one follows a girl whose family basically is displaced and they have to stay at a bed and breakfast with a bunch of other families that are in low income living basically. She gets into trouble as all these characters tend to do. She gets into antics. I love the family dynamic. Her friends were cute. And yeah, I just think this one was cute. I really enjoy her stories the more that I read of them. I loved a lot of them when I was younger, and this one I think really was cute, and I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, last 3, and then we're almost done. Sweep, the story of a girl and her monster. This one was really cute. I liked this one a lot. Was it my favorite thing I read this month? No, but I really did get into this story. It was really touching. It was really sweet. Essentially, it follows a girl who's a chimney sweep and the friend slash, I think, does it say in the story? Yeah, so essentially she creates or has a friend that comes along that's a creature that she has to befriend, take care of, and kind of the storyline of what they end up getting into. It's really cute. I liked it a lot. There were things I think that definitely could improve with it. Overall, pacing was a little hard to read. The characters are very dark. It really centers in on a really hard time in history, I think, with children's slave labor. It definitely talks about a lot of that aspect of it. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought this one was cute, so this one for me was definitely up there for the month. Okay. Let's talk about this one. Wild Robot Escapes. I barely remember this book. I loved The Wild Robot, and I definitely will read the third one in this series, but this one for me fell a little flat. There wasn't as much to this as I wish there was in the first one. This one essentially just continues to follow Roz through her journey and basically follows her with kind of going along, getting back to the island, where she ends up after the events of the first book. And yeah, I like this one. I think the series is so cute. It's a really quick, really easy read. I liked it a lot. But overall, wasn't my favorite out of the two, so I'm interested to read the third one and see how I like the series as a whole. Okay, and the last thing that I read for the month of March was The Ickabog by J.K. Rowling. This is a really cute book. I'll say it. For all of the things about J.K. Rowling, she writes a good book. She sucks you in. The characters are dynamic. I feel like I lived in this world for a while, and it's not that long of a book. I feel like I remember this story. The story was touching. I didn't love the ending and how it all wrapped together, of like how it all broke down, but the beginning 2/3 of the book I loved. So yeah, overall the characters were really memorable. I really just could picture everything so visually. So yeah, it reads almost like a fairy tale, which I also loved. It's just so good. There are a few images throughout the book as well too. Like, let me see if I can find one of them. Oh yeah. So with this one, children actually illustrated the book, so they submitted images during COVID and they were submitted, and those are what are actually the illustrations for the book, which I think is actually really, really cute. But yeah, overall, I really liked this one. It was good. It sucks you in. It's a classic. I think there's a new paperback edition of this coming out, if not already, soon. I think I saw an email about that recently. But yeah, overall, I really loved this. I'm excited to have it in my collection and finally read it, because I feel like this has been on my shelves forever. So this is why I love doing these. It's reading new middle grade as well that's new to me, and seeing if I can find some good ones in the stacks. So yeah, overall, definitely recommend this one. All right, friends, that is it. The 19 books that I read. I didn't hit my goal. I didn't get to some of the books I really hoped to wish that I would this month, but that's how it goes, you know, it is what it is. But overall, I'm excited to have read the books that I did. I enjoyed a lot of them. There were some misses, obviously, but that's how it goes. So yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite book was from the month of March, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!